What's up, y'all? It's DeAndre Brackensick, and you're watching True Exclusives at home. Love was the excuse for us when we both know that it was not enough to camouflage the way we come and it's just another word. Rarely read, but it is always heard. Don't make it seem like we were the first to be in love. Never knew what it meant to me. Nothing more than a figure speech. Higher ground we could never reach. And this thing you call us. Well, I grew up in San Jose, California. I didn't have a musical family. I didn't have really musical influences as far as like physical influence around me, direct influences at all growing up. My family was sports people, so singing didn't really come on till later. Like I always sang as a kid. I always say I wanted to come out. At least I'm saying I'm gonna claim it because ain't nobody said no, but I came out the womb in key. I hope so. But I've always sang because it's something I just naturally did in the sense of it wasn't something I thought of. It wasn't something I practiced. It was just something I woke up and that's what I did. Accept what God allows, even though you don't understand it. He is working for your good. Accept every trial. Accept it even now. He'll bring you a smile. Put it in his hand. So I did 2 seasons of Idol. My first season I didn't want to do. My mom made me do it. So I was 15. I made it through to the top 40, but there's three I guess rounds you go through before you get to the main like celebrity judges that everybody sees. So you go through all these other ones, and one of those rounds are the producers. The producers of the show did not like me at all. Like they weren't into it. So that kind of hurt because I was 15 years old. And being that I didn't even want to do it, it kind of hurt to hear because it wasn't really my calling, nor was it my dream at that time in my life to really be a singer. I just enjoyed singing. That was my thing. So did that, went through all that, got cut, went back with that intention of like, ooh, I want to show these mother chickens that I could sing. You know what I mean? So I got like a couple vocal lessons and like try to work on my, my craft a bit more. And then went back, I felt like I did a really good job. Auditioned back at these, for the producers the second year around. This will be season 11. And they were like, yeah, cool. That was fine. We got a lot of stuff for cutting you last year. So we're going to put you through. Bye. And it was at that moment where I was just like, okay, that's not what not what I was looking for. Cause I really wanted to, I feel everybody has that time in their life where they want that revenge in a sense, I want to get back. And, I feel like that was my moment. And that was kind of like my realization of like, they don't care. You know what I mean? They ain't losing sleep. Them telling me something ain't hurting them. They're still paying their bills. And so why would I put that much energy into them? So that was kind of like my little, all right, let's just go into it. So the next year I went and I made it to top 8. So I was a finalist. And I feel like what was different was I had my mentality of this is a TV show, and I kind of knew what was what it was about before. I was so focused on I got to be a great singer, and it's not the case because there's many great singers. You need to be a great singer, and you also need to be able to give good TV, and show who you are. There's more to just being a singer. have to be vulnerable, and you have to show a sense of personality in people. So yeah, that was kind of like my idol experience and feelings in a sense. I decided to, after tour, I got signed to a couple people. So everybody on Idol gets signed to Interscope for my season because that tour was affiliated with the show at the time. And then they didn't really want to use me, so we got shelved or put aside to not do anything for about 2 years. Then I got signed to a sub label through Universal, which is Truth Records. Didn't really do anything. wasn't well. Put out a song, completely don't like. Um, and then I was at that point. I'm just like, all right, let me go to college. Let me try to do something productive and substantial. Because again, I was a kid with not too much vision, or I want to say drive for anything. I didn't really have I didn't have this is what I want to be when I grow up in high school. I was not the best kid. Uh, I wasn't the best kid. I wasn't terrible, but I wasn't driven for anything. I just liked doing what I do. Um, so I was like, let me go to college. I chose Hawaii because my dad was taken in by his best friend and his family. With the Hawaiian upbringing, I've danced hula since I was about 12. I grew up singing Hawaiian music. I have a lot of people over there. I started, actually, my singing career was with Leo Ki'eki'e, which is Hawaiian falsetto music. So that's all I ever sung. I'm very, very into, I wouldn't say into, I'm very, very submerged into the Hawaiian culture. A lot of, I had a bigger name in Hawaii than anywhere with what I did. So dance hula, like in the Merry Monarch, which is like the Olympics of hula, dancing that, got featured on a lot of Hawaiian singers and know a lot of the scene over there. And it just kind of made sense. It was like a home away from home to allow me to work and also, do my studies because I didn't want to take out a loan. So I could work there while paying off school. And I had family there. I had my grandparents that were there. College stressed me out. I'm not academic. I'm not dumb. I'm just not the brightest when it comes to that stuff. You know what I mean? So it really stressed me out. And I got to the point where a couple of things that kind of happened in my life where I was overworking myself to pay tuition, to study and make sure I was getting grades. I was working so much that one night that I decided to just go hang out with my friends. I drove back home because I needed to get to work. I was working 3 jobs. I had to get to work in the morning on the other side of the island. I drove, fell asleep behind the wheel, totaled my car. And that's when I was like, you know what? I can't do this no more. Like, I can't. It's stressing me out. So I quit 2 of my jobs, ended up working just one. I was singing in luau shows, again, like Hawaiian music and Polynesian music, singing in luau shows nightly, 6 nights a week. I was doing that and then going to college. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. And that was the point where I was making steady money. I could live comfortably. And I just felt so stagnant. I felt so complacent. I was like, yo, like, I'm 22 at this point. Like, why am I settling down? Like, right now, I'm not even happy. So I chose Australia because I was doing little tour shows between that, like off breaks and stuff. So I did a couple shows in Australia and New Zealand, little tour shows, tour dates for my own stuff. I was in Melbourne, Australia for a day, and I just hit like the jam scene. at R and Babe at Saint Hotel in Melbourne, in St. Kilda. Uh, and it was popping. Like, it was so good. Hawaii is very Hawaiian music and island reggae. So R&B is just, there's like a group of us. The R&B soul, anything, out of that pocket, there's a group of us. So I always had to push and or prove what I do, explain what I do to people in Hawaii. In Melbourne, it was like they got it. Like R&B, neo soul, like that's their pop. That's their trap music. That's, you know what I mean? That's their top 40. There's R&B, neo soul. Um, so it was easy everywhere I went. I didn't know anybody. I got up and left. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I want to record this album. I got really depressed in that time. So I started writing. And then while I was writing my songs, I started recording little demos in Hawaii. And one of my friends was like, "Why are you recording it here?" I'm just like, "Because I'm recording it." He's like, "Well, are you doing it out of uh, convenience, or are you doing it because you truly want to work with the people here in Hawaii?" I said, "Well, I live here." He said, "Well, where have you been that's inspired you?" He said, "You've been all around the world, worked with so many people. Where have you been that inspired you?" I'm like, "Melbourne, Australia." He was like, "And why don't you go there?" I'm like, "You know what, dude? You're right." 2 months later, I got up and bounced. I didn't know anybody. And was only going to be there for 6 months. Kind of just went to open mics and stuff and saved up enough money. Tried to record. I had all the songs written, all the vocal arrangements set up, the chords, because I wrote everything from scratch. So the whole album's me. There's no like nothing. So I just wanted to find musicians to actually play it properly because I'm not the best musician. Um, but yeah, ended up staying 2 years because that's how comfortable I was there. That's how easy it was for me to be accepted in that scene because people got it. Anyway, worked with my boy Julian Steele. He helped me produce it in the sense of like helped me getting all the people, and we recorded it in his attic. And like my recording studio was 2 pieces of plywood and like blankets over it, and like, you know what I mean? But we made it work and we made it do what it do. A lot of those tracks were live takes. Um, so yeah, if that's why I chose Melbourne, because it was around people that could push me and didn't know my sound, but also understood what I did. So it wasn't just like my friends saying, "Yeah, that sounds good." I don't want that. If it sounds like shit, tell me it sounds like shit. But at the end of the day, if I like it, I'm going to keep it because it's my song. So yeah, I chose Melbourne for that reason, because people got what I did and had a bigger ear or insight on to make it better. Because I feel like 1 year is good, but 8 years, you know, is even better. So I did that, and I stayed there for 2 years. Seas, sighs, the end of my mental momentum, deep, wide, drowning in pools of black, then I'm what I see. I'm mine, trying to fit an image of beauty implied, abide, black denim high. Yo, I've been through a couple times of depression. Half of it is how my album came about. I just didn't like where my life was going. It got me really sad, and I just felt like I was wasting time, I was wasting life. And I felt like it just wasn't worth living for a period of my life. Um, in that sense, I got depressed because, again, coming out of industry, there's a standard to everything in your life when you're in a public eye. So I got so caught up on an image. I gained a lot of weight. I wasn't fat, I wasn't huge, but I was thick, and if you see me on Idol, I was used to being that stick figure. So I kind of grew up to where my body stopped growing. So I just started going this way. And yo, it got me so depressed, and I got so fixated on that to where I got really, really down. And I was anorexic and bulimic for a second. So the song Black Denim on my album is about that. That's about my struggle with that, with body image. Got over that though, because it was hurting my health. And I tell that to anybody that's coming to that realization, or or even in that process of now, that's what you're doing to yourself. it's so temporary because the moment you start eating any type of normal meal again, it comes back twice as fast, and that was the predicament I came back, and it doesn't distribute well. So they just to get rid of my stomach, it took me years just to get back to it healthy because it just doesn't. It stores in the worst places. It doesn't go all the way through your body. Um, but what kind of helped me got out of that is honestly, I can't even say like I read a book or I did. I have the most amazing core people in my life, and it's mostly my friends. I have such amazing friends, and it was conversations, it was phone calls, it was, again, I'm not a really big social person, but it was them telling me to come out and not like go to a club or nothing, but come just hang with us, just be with us, be okay, just to be who you are, to be okay with who you are. So honestly, it wasn't like a moment in my life where I decided. It was just a series of little things that my friends brought me up. So I was just very fortunate to have a support group, which I know a lot of people don't have. So if you are not that victim in a sense, I just say to people that are watching, go be that support group. Go be that person that goes and be like, hey, you don't gotta be like, oh, don't do that to yourself because you don't know what's going on in their life. Just be that helping hand. Just be like, just be the person to go gig with. Be that. It makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference.
Faithful friends who are dear to us, they gather near to us once more. Through years, we all will be together if the fates allow.
Russell Wilson DM'd me. That's how that came about. It was literally just a DM, and like just back and forth. And 5 minutes later, I sent him my phone number, and legit, him and Ciara FaceTime me right away. They were like, we've been listening to your videos for like all night. We just started a label. I have a management company. We've been praying on it. We want you. Like, we would love to have you be our artist. And yeah, and it was kind of just, it was like that. It was within like an instant as far as like how that came about. About 6 months of me kind of sitting with it before I signed. But yeah, it was literally just of that because they're on their way to Brazil, I believe. And they're just like, we just want to let you know that we believe in what you do, and we love what your talent is and what your gift is, and we want to promote it and we want to let the world see it. I'm like, yo, was a cool thing because I'm one of the ones that kind of, I love vision boards and kind of like manifestation in a sense. Um, Again, off and on of it. So like Black Denim wouldn't have happened if I didn't write out a vision board or do all the, and I had a whole bunch of other things that happened because of it. So they literally weeks before they reached out to me on my vision board, it wasn't much, but the main thing was to have a team of people, qualified people that believe in what I do to get me to the next level or get me bigger than what I could do on my own. And then like bam, just like that, they're like, we like you. So I'm just like, when I tell you God is real, he is always listening. So
So gone off the thought of loving, unsteady waiting, anticipating for your love. So I'll stay, but to you I'm just things, passing time through your delay. So I'll stay just in case, cause you stop to say what we should've, could've, would've made. And I keep on saying, even though I know I'm being played, should've known better than to let you fill me up just to bring me right back down. I should've known better, 'cause you only show me love when feelings ain't around. Should've known better. reality the thought of me and you together. Should've known, should've known. Yeah,